Hello, everybody out there in quarantine world. We've been doing a new thing where we're trying to take a few videos and tell a few stories. And my story today happened back when I was 17, I believe. And I had just graduated high school. It was the day we got out of high school. And we all, about 6 of my good friends, we all packed up, took our vehicles, and we went to Moab, Utah. And when we were in Moab, we had the plan to come around and do the Slick Rock Trail, which is a trail that is very high tech, very technical. And we said, okay, we have to pay to get into this place every time. You have to go into Moab to access it to get up to the trail. And we didn't want to pay for lodging and all that. So we said, okay, let's skip that. We'll go about 4.5 miles outside of Moab, and then we'll hike in and we'll hike to the base of this gigantic cliff. And so as we decide this great plan that we're all going to do on our last day, senior year, it sounds great, but we have to park and then hike in about 2.5, 3 miles to get back to where the Slick Rock Trail cliff is. So we started hiking in with all of our gear, and we got to the base of the cliff where it's beautiful, picturesque. We're overlooking other views coming off. Beautiful little campsite. We set up camp, and the next morning we're gonna hike back up right to the base of the cliff and then hike up and crawl up this cliff face with our bikes in our hands with no ropes. I guess when you're 18, you think you're invincible, but that day it truly tested me. I was extremely scared several times in the climb, but we all made it up safe, and we got to the top. We popped in and we were on the Slick Rock Trail, and it was a great adventure. And we're riding along, we're doing the Slick Rock Trail, and the only difference between us and all the other people doing the Slick Rock Trail was that all the other people had spandex, Speedo, bike helmets, all this gear all decked out, and we're riding in cut-off jean shorts, Metallica t-shirts, and no helmets, no anything else. We were just doing our thing. And yeah, we're going along, and my buddy Bugs jumps off this rock and busts the pedal straight off his bike. So I help him out. We're going, he's one pumping it, and we're going along, and I go off this big jump, and I'm like, I got this, went off and then tacoed my back tire. And so it's tacoed, spinning, tires off, not working. So I had to take a rock, and we sit there, me and Bugs, everybody else is way far gone. We sit there, we beat this tire back in, and then at this point, he's one pumping it, and I am with the taco tire in the back. And we finally get off the Slick Rock Trail. And then instead of hiking up the cliff face, we actually walked around and walked down, which from the days on beyond that, all my friends went and did that, but our bikes were screwed, so we couldn't do that. We proceed to have a great vacation, good times, a lot of wrestling, a lot of camaraderie, singing songs, a bit of drinking, almost the whole entire trip, and had a fantastic trip. And then at the last day, we all hiked back down out the about 3 miles we did, hike all our gear out, all our stuff out, and get back to the trucks, and all the vehicles fire up, everything's cool except for mine. And mine does not fire up, and everybody else has to get back to their regular life. We've been there for 5 days. The last people to leave gave us the last bit of change in their truck, and between the change in my truck and their truck added up to $4.35. And so with that, we were left, and my one buddy Bugs said, Nate, I'll stay with you. I'm not gonna leave you out here in Moab by yourself. I'll stay with you, like the good homeboy he is. So we're there. We bike our asses all the way down to get a public phone, And I put the quarter in, I call my sister, and she says, brother, I'm so sorry, my job and everybody's jobs and blah, 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 we can't get there for 7 days. And so for 7 days, we're stuck there in Moab. And at that point, I said, all right, we need to salvage everything we have. We need to come together. We're gonna form this plot, and we're gonna survive for 7 days in Moab with no resources except for $4.35. So we had a little bit of food, but the majority of what we had was a huge, gigantic handle of tequila in a cheap plastic bottle, disgusting, terrible, and then 3 mixes of Bloody Mary mix that we'd already mixed up to come for the trip. So we had booze, but we had no food. So we started eating cactus because there was tons of big prickly pear cactus around. And so we started eating cactus, and we had some hot dogs too, and we were doing these different concoctions and keeping it interesting. So at that point, we were eating this cactus, and it was late in the night, and I had drank a little too much tequila, I do admit, and I was peeling it, and I missed a thorn. And I ate this bite, and it went down, and it just enlarged in my throat. It was absolutely terrible. I could feel it about right here in my throat, and it just, and I could feel the pain, and instantly I was like, oh my God, I just got a cactus thorn in my throat. Next morning I wake up, and the next morning, oh my God, whole throat swollen almost shut. I felt like I could barely breathe. And so I said, Bugs, we gotta go to town. We gotta get something to get this out of my throat. I'd attempted several times to grab it myself. I couldn't even touch it with my fingers. I had told Bugs a few times, I'm gonna peel my head back, mouth open, grab that thing. And he could see it, but his fingers wouldn't reach. So our next plan was to go to Moab and buy some tweezers. We got $4.35. Tweezers don't cost that much. So we pedal our asses in, and as we're going in, it was kind of funny because, well, it wasn't even funny. We were super white trash. We're wearing cut-off jean shorts, Metallica and Slayer t-shirts, and Bugs is one pumping his bike, and I'm riding this taco tire that's going the whole way in, and all these guys are wearing helmets. They're all these like beautiful and spandex and all like team riders on these badass bikes. We're riding like Huffies from Walmart. And so we go to Safeway, and as we go into Safeway, we roll right to the tweezers. They're over $5. And instantly my heart sank, but I had to do what I had to do, shoved them in my pocket. And we said, how can we best spend this $4.35? We went to the ramen noodle aisle and bought 2 huge bags full of ramen noodles. And then we proceeded from there. We go outside, and I'm like, okay, we got to get this out of my throat. I'm reaching in, trying to get it by myself, and I keep gagging myself. I keep grabbing the sides. I won't get it. So I'm like, Bugs, you have to get this for me. So we go to this big, huge Winnebago, huge thing that has these gigantic mirrors on the side. So we go up, and I'm opening my mouth, and he's looking in, and he's like, I see it, I can get that. And so he keeps digging in, getting at it, but he, in the meantime, keeps hitting my gag reflex, and I keep going, and then puking, and then he'd hit it again, and I'm like, Bugs, you gotta get it, man, quit gagging me out, dude. And he finally, the glory hit, grabs that thing, rips it out. It was 2.5 inch long prickly pear in lies. It hurt to come out, but the relief I felt. But as we were getting the thing out, everybody's looking around, they're like, there was about 10, 12 people surrounding us going, call an ambulance, he's puking blood. Oh my God, he's puking blood everywhere. And Bugs and I are like, no, we're 17, and our water bottles are full of Bloody Mary mix that I've been puking because that's all I've been drinking is Bloody Mary mix and tequila. So I'm puking over and over Bloody Mary mix, not blood. So yeah, we hopped on our chintzy ass bikes and one pumped it and tacoed its ass all the way out of there. And we finally got back to our campsite and we started making ramen noodles. And we made them every single way you could possibly make ramen noodles. We did it and we had it, but we had to survive for the next like 5-6 days on only ramen noodles. So when I saw there was a shortage of ramen noodles, it reminded me of this story. And it's funny to think that other people are surviving on ramen noodles the same way that we did. The other thing, I'm sitting here sipping on a glass of 2017 Merlot. Absolutely beautiful, enjoying it thoroughly. And it just reminds me of times from the past, from my younger years, and the way we've grown as people. And I'm glad to be drinking fantastic Merlot, enjoying every sip of it, and not puking out disgusting tequila and Bloody Mary mix on the Safeway parking lot. So the way we grow as people, the way we appreciate finer things in life, I'm just happy to tell you that story and happy to drink better things in my life.